Welcome to beautiful Sitka, Alaska, one of the most scenic and historic towns in Southeast Alaska, surrounded by ocean views, rainforest, wildlife, and rich indigenous and Russian heritage. In today's immersive point of view walking tour, we'll begin by disembarking our cruise ship here in Sitka, before making our way to the free shuttle into downtown. Once on board the shuttle, you'll hear the driver share interesting facts, local history, and stories about Sitka, giving you a unique introduction to this incredible Alaska community. If you'd like to skip the shuttle rides and go directly to the walking tour through Sitka, timestamps are in the description. And if you're a nature lover, you're going to enjoy this one. Throughout this walk, you'll hear the sounds of birds chirping through the forest, see seals swimming in the water, and experience the beauty of Sitka's lush green trees and coastal scenery that make this place so special. Our journey will take us through town and out toward the Totem poles, where Alaska's natural beauty and cultural history come together. After the walk, we'll make our way back, take the shuttle to the ship, and on the ride back, you'll once again be able to enjoy more commentary and stories about Sitka from the guide. We'll finish the experience with a final walk around the Sitka Cruise Terminal, giving you a complete look at what visitors arriving by cruise can expect. Also, after this introduction, there will be no additional narration, just the authentic sights and sounds of Sitka, Alaska, so you can fully immerse yourself in the experience. If you enjoy walking tours, Alaska travel videos, cruise port explorations, and relaxing ambient experiences, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the other walking tours and travel adventures available here. Keep the closed captions on if you'd like to read facts about Sitka during the walk. Now, let's step off the ship and begin exploring Sitka, Alaska. This is POV Trips. Feel every step.
Enjoy your day.
As we get on to downtown, I will point out the main area of the city center. There's one main street, everything else is around that street, except Fortress of the Bears or the Raptor Center. Fortress of the Bears, I'm sure you already heard, is 6 miles away. And also, this is the only cruise ship here, so the buses will be carrying passengers just for this particular cruise ship. There's one white bus, one silver gray bus, the rest of them are blue buses. When we get to the town, I will also point out the area where you need to be when you're ready to come back here. And the buses will be running about every 10 minutes, maybe even sooner than that, all the way until 4 o'clock is the last bus. So I hope you enjoyed the short ride to downtown today. It's a clear day, it's no rain, so that's good. Those of you that never been in Sitka before, you see on the other side of this channel there's another land area there. That is a separate island from this one that we are on. On that small island there, it's just long enough for the runway. That's where the airport is. Alaska Airlines flies here on the year-round, and Delta Airlines flies here only on the summertime. But on the summertime, both of them have direct flights from Seattle to Sitka, Sitka to Seattle. That's also the location where you find the Coast Guard base, the University of Alaska, and also that's the area for the hospital, the only hospital in Sitka, Mount Edgecombe Hospital. You see the big buildings up there, the dark one. It's not quite finished yet. It's a new addition to the hospital. And the hospital takes its name, Edgecombe, Mount Edgecombe, from the volcano way on the far right. On a clear day, you can see the whole thing from top to bottom. Very often it's just covered with low-hanging clouds. That's also the location where you find one of the 3 high schools in Sitka. The other high school is on this street right here that we're passing, about 4 blocks up there. Even though the sign for the high school is straight up ahead of us next to the light signal up there. That's kind of confusing because a lot of people see the sign and they think the high school is somewhere over there. But it's actually at the base of the mountain up there to the left. And as I mentioned, the other high school is up there on that island. That is what they call a boarding high school. There are students that come from all over Alaska. They live in that area there. Little communities or big cities. There's about 350, 400 students each year. And there's sort of a rivalry when it comes to playing basketball games or maybe even running or other sorts of sports from that school and this one over here. I used to drive school bus, and anytime there was a basketball game at the high school here, on the school that is to the left, we would go up there, 4, 5, 6 buses, school buses, bring everybody to a high school, and the area will be packed with students. To the right is the fire department, and you have a big building. It's got 3 restaurants, 2 coffee shops. Anytime I want to come to downtown, drink coffee, I come to Highliner, just a matter of preference for me. That was the first place I went to when 2005 when I first came over here. Coming up around this tall building on the right is Lincoln Street, which is the main street where most of the stores are located, mainly to the right of the intersection. Sitka Historical Park, which has totem poles, trails, the museum is left. That's where the street ends, about 6 blocks from here. Halfway there is the Science Center, which is like a little aquarium. Across from the Science Center is Sheldon Jackson Museum, the oldest concrete building in Alaska. Also the Bishop's Home, as it's called, it's here to the left. To the right, when you're walking, you'll see it in the middle of the street, the historical church, St. Michael's Cathedral, Russian Orthodox Church that dates back to the 1800s. The church burned down, most of it sometime after that, but it was rebuilt to its original design. Most of the stuff inside was saved. If you're looking for the pharmacy, go past the church. Right before the end of the street is Harry Ray's Pharmacy. By the way, there's some taxis here on the left side of us, in case you need transportation. And if you're going to Fortress of the Bears or the Raptor Center, as I mentioned to some of you, there's a company that runs a shuttle service from this area here too. If it's there, I'll point out the sign. And this is the area where we're going to be going to, this area to the left. As you notice, we're going to this parking lot from this side. We exit on the other side. The exit area is where we pick up passengers to go back to the cruise ship. As I mentioned, that being the only cruise ship up there, all the buses that will be parked from the entrance to the building forward will go back with passengers. The buses on this area, where this one is, they are involved in doing tours. Once you go inside this building, you find restrooms to the right. On the left side are some tables that are part of Sitka's information center. So if you need a map of the downtown, they have paper copies there. If you have questions, they may have the answers in there. There's also a small museum inside. And by the way, the company that runs the shuttle service to Fortress of the Bears, so the representative is this lady right here on the blue, Sitka Cruise, for these people that are standing right there. They charge $20 round trip. They take you up there, leave you there for an hour, then they go back and pick you up, bring you back here. When you're ready to go back, you see this young lady here next to this short.
Go there a little bit early because they got a lot of
Do you need to go potty before we go?
house.
Yeah, that's I
you know.
used to do it. I do it with my dad. Too.
Yeah.
Do it with my dog. Yeah, it's so much easier. And honestly, like, and I know kids that age, if you give them $50 a day,
Oh yeah.
like, you got me away from my parents, I got the whole house to myself, I do whatever I want.
Well, you know, my age, I'm trying to have a good party and stuff.
Dad, can we take a picture of the sea?
No, like a random person, you know.
governor did not allow the Tlingit to settle anywhere near Novarkhanty. Later, Russian policy changed. The Tlingit were permitted to establish a village outside the west fortification wall. The Russians even built a Holy Trinity Orthodox church for them, but they still did not trust the Tlingit and kept a Baton River cannon aimed at their village.
One person was able to significantly improve relations with the Tlingit. Father Ioan Benedinov, a young, passionate Orthodox priest, came as a missionary.
E hicieron estas montañas.
This is the halibut hook. You see how it's
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. That's how they got the fish.
that hook.
Llegaron hace 9000 años.
Ay, babalik ako dahil hindi sa akin.
Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your time downtown, walking the downtown streets of Sitka, all 3 blocks of it. Folks, unfortunately, you've missed our 6 days of summer last month, but fortunately today it's not raining yet, but hold your breath, it probably will happen before it's over with. But I'm glad it's not raining right now. This is an unusual day, I assure you. I don't know if you noticed or not, but when you came downtown this morning, there are no big box stores or corporate conglomerates here on the island. That is because they passed an ordinance here many, many years ago that said that if you're going to be a business owner here on the island, that one of the requirements to owning that business is that you actually had to live here on the island. So what that means for you is that the cruise ship terminal, where I'm going to drop you off at, is not owned by the cruise ship. Neither are the vendors in and around that terminal building employees of the cruise ship, nor are they just seasonal temporary workers that are here for 6 months and gone. They are all locally owned and operated. That's what sets us aside and makes us unique and different from any other port that you'll stop at in Alaska. In fact, these folks are locally owned and operated, take extra pride and care in the goods and services that they provide for you. And because their name and reputation does stand behind it, and they're extremely grateful and thankful for you folks coming by to visit them today. But most importantly, for every dollar that you leave behind on this island actually stays on this island to support these folks during the wintertime, so that in the spring they can open their doors back up and greet you when you come back to visit them again. And also, we only have one more ship this season tomorrow, so everything hopefully will all be on great reduced sale. So you pick it up while you can, because this is your last opportunity to do that in this area. Folks, if you haven't had a chance yet to spot an eagle in the wild yet, I'll do my best to see if I can't find one and point it out to you, as well as any other wildlife that we may encounter on the way back. Also, there are a few more points of interest that I'll bring to your attention on the trip back that usually don't get mentioned coming in to town, as it's a lot easier to see them going back this direction. So around this couple next curves here, we'll get that tour started here in just a few moments. Just up around this next curve, folks, if you look out across the left, all the way across the harbor, you're going to see an island with 3 mountains on it. The one on the left is the largest, the biggest, and the tallest. Very seldom do you ever get to see the top of that one because it's so tall. It actually creates its own weather pattern, so you've got a pristine view of it today. That is Mount Edgecombe. That is the landmark here in Sitka. It is also the point of entry for the port of Sitka. You passed it when you came in this morning. You'll pass it when you go back out this evening. It is also sacred tribal lands to the natives here on the island, but most importantly, it is an active volcano. It's been dormant for quite a while, but over the last 5 years, it's begun to wake back up rapidly and spew enough smoke that it gets the attention of the Coast Guard, at which time they'll dispatch a helicopter out there. They'll fly around it, watch it, look at it, observe it, whatever it is they do. But it's our hope that we'll get you back on board your ship and out of port today on time before the fireworks fly. Up ahead on the left is what we call Sandy Beach, and yes, folks, people do come down here and swim today. In fact, before the day is over with, they'll already be down there swimming again today. The water temperature here stays around 45 degrees, and they don't believe in wearing wetsuits around here. So what they do is they'll go down there, they'll go swimming, they'll last 15, 20 minutes or so. They'll wait on somebody to come by and reel them back in and put a hairdryer on them and thaw them back out again until they can move their toes and their fingers and get going about today's business. But all kidding aside, folks, there are people down there that swim every single day. They don't care if it's hot or cold, rain or shine. They're down there swimming. Up ahead on the left, if you look alongside this rocky coastline, you may spot some sea otters. This is the time of day that they come down to start fishing and enjoying their time in the swim. Also, the end of last week, folks, we had some humpback whales out here. Before that, about middle of last week, we had some orcas, and then the beginning of the week, believe it or not, we actually had some beluga whales in here. Very seldom do you ever get to see the beluga whales down here this far south, as they like the Arctic Circle and the colder waters. But it's always a joy when the humpbacks come down here, because they're the ones that put on quite the show, and they do come in quite often. It just depends on the movement of the tide and, of course, their food source. Just up around this next curve, there's going to, over this guardrail, is what we call Magic Island. It is called Magic Island because right now the tide is in and the water is completely surrounding that piece of land. Therefore, it's now an island. But when low tide goes out, you can actually walk across it on dry land. Therefore, there's people out there swimming. I told you, they're out there swimming. So they call that Magic Island because magically part of the time it qualifies to be an island and part of the time it does not. Up ahead on the left is our state park, this parking area, folks. This is where all the locals come down to enjoy time with their family. Last night, that place was packed full about 10 o'clock last night because you could see the northern lights in full spectrum view. It was absolutely beautiful. Also, this is where the locals come down to do their whale watching, because some of the most beautiful views of the bay are right here to your left. Folks, it looks like you're in luck. The cruise ship's still here waiting on your return. That's always a good feeling when we're around that curve. We'll get you back just in time for lunch. I hate to miss that buffet line because I know they just starve you to death on board these ships. Folks, when we stop at the terminal building, just give me a moment to shut the bus off and get that footstool out for your safe exit. When you exit off the bus, go back inside the open garage door in front of the terminal building. Go through to the opposite side, out the back door, down the steps, down the ramp, back out to your ship. At the bottom of the ramp to your left is a beautiful restaurant down there, and they make some of the best chowder in town. Also inside the terminal building is a nice coffee shop next to the bathrooms. And also there's a beautiful family in there that are absolute experts at roasting different types of nuts that are allowed to be carried back on board the ship with you. 307, terminal fully loaded. Folks, my name is Doug, and it's been my pleasure to be your tour bus driver for the last 12 minutes of your life. We got you back to the terminal building safe and sound as promised. Not bad for my first day on the job with a driver license. We do hope, though, folks, that you have a great rest of your day, smooth sailing on the way out of port. And as always, folks, your tips and gratuities are greatly appreciated. Have a great rest of your morning, and thank you so much for visiting Sitka, folks. You are welcome.
go see the ravine.
pressure, my friend, this guy. Hit the... Wow, we have